This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV, 5 topics in about 10 minutes for Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert with the 5 things you need to know for today. Topic number 5 today, the Farmers' Rebellion. I haven't been covering this as much as I should have, but farmers all across Europe have been rising up against their governments. In Germany, farmers on about 200 tractors paralyzed traffic for several hours on a highway leading to the city of Stuttgart, which is the capital of the southwest German state of Baden-Württemberg, actually the land of my ancestors. If I had a great-great-great-great-grandfather who made a different choice, I might have witnessed this thing with my own eyes today. But as it is, farmers are protesting the abolition of subsidies, shutting down roads to protest government decision to scrap diesel subsidies for farmers. The German government facing a budget crisis, the economic shutdown, rising energy costs, especially given the sanctions on Russian natural gas and the loss of the Nord Stream pipelines, which has cut cheap energy for German industry. This diesel subsidy is supposed to add about $475 million to the German budget. The government also plans to end tax breaks on vehicles for forestry and agriculture, which may add another $500 million to the German government. In France, farmers there have begun moving hundreds of tractors in an effort to blockade key routes into Paris. They're calling this the Siege of Paris. Farmers argue they're being hit by falling incomes, environmental regulations, rising red tape, and competition from imports. French authorities say 15,000 policemen have been mobilized to stop the tractors from entering the capital. Farmers say their aim is to stop food deliveries from reaching supermarkets, something officials have warned them not to do, but police have also been given orders not to intervene, and there have been no signs of disorder so far. Farmers also protesting in recent months in the Netherlands, in Denmark, and elsewhere as farmers are being squeezed by a growing antagonism towards agriculture in Europe. Globalists trying to shut down agriculture. As we told you the other day, the World Economic Forum identifying agriculture as a major cause of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which if you're involved with agriculture, or if you just like to breathe, you might consider carbon dioxide not a greenhouse gas, but plant food. It is what plants breathe. Anyway, we'll see how this all plays out, as we are probably due for something like this soon in these United States. Topic number 4, Neuralink. The first human test of Neuralink, which is a brain-computer interface being developed by Elon Musk, has been installed in the first human patient. This took place earlier this week. The goal is to create an interface through which one can control a computer with one's thoughts. According to Musk, quote, this enables control of your phone or computer and through them almost any device just by thinking. Imagine if Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than a speed typist or auctioneer. That is the goal, end quote. The brain implant, which is called telepathy, was designed to help people with traumatic brain injuries. And we're all in favor of restoring functionality to people who, through no fault of their own, are no longer able to move or function. I mean, Hawking, you might remember, was the brilliant physicist who, through a physiological disorder, was not able to move any longer, had to speak through a device, was basically restricted to a motorized chair. This would implant an interface through ultrafine threads in the brain to transmit signals from the brain to a computer device. The company received FDA approval last May to begin these tests, and Musk said the initial results are showing promising neuron spike detection. Again, though, when signals can go one way to a computer, one wonders how long it will be before researchers try to figure out how to send signals the other way. We're all in favor of restoring functionality to those who need to interact with others. But with all technology, there is the possibility that it might be misused. Topic number 3, transitioning in Montana. This is a frightening story, especially given that this is happening in Montana and not California or Oregon. Family in Glasgow, Montana, accusing the state's Child Protective Services of kidnapping, their words, kidnapping their teenage daughter after the girl began to identify as a boy. Krista and Todd Kolstad spoke to reporters about their ordeal and explaining that the child's been removed from their care and will now be sent to Canada to live with her birth mother. The child's stepmother argues that this explains that this began last August after they received a call that their 14-year-old daughter had expressed suicidal thoughts at school. Later that same evening, a caseworker with Montana Child and Family Services showed up to do an inspection of the home. And during the interview with CFS, the daughter claimed that she'd tried to commit suicide by consuming toilet bowl cleaner and painkillers. Now, despite the lack of symptoms, I mean, obviously, if you consume Drano, you're going to show some kind of symptoms. They sent her to the hospital where toxicology, blood work confirmed she had not consumed anything dangerous. Yet, the hospital noted that the daughter, identified as a boy, wanted to be called Leo. The bottom line here is that this young lady, age 14, is experiencing some of the mental health and emotional issues that many of us went through at that age. This is a kind of a dark and turbulent period for many teens. Montana's Child and Family Services found it necessary in their minds to remove the daughter from their home, wanted to send her to Wyoming where physical transitioning is allowed. That finally did not happen. She was sent to a group home in Montana for counseling, but rather than being returned to her father and stepmother, she is now, according to the Kolstads, going to be sent to her birth mother who lives in Kitchener, Ontario, a woman who reportedly has not had any contact with or shown any interest in her daughter for the last 14 years. Again, essentially being involuntarily, or at least as far as the parents are concerned, removed from their home without their consent because they refuse to go along with the daughter's gender identity in Montana. This is frightening, but the ancient Sumerian goddess Inanna does not give up her followers easily. Topic number 2, the Afterparty. This is a new Bible study. It's a Bible study curriculum, actually, being pushed by New York Times columnist David French, Christianity Today editor-in-chief Russell Moore, and Duke Divinity School consulting professor Curtis Chang. It's called the Afterparty. The idea here is that we Christians should be above partisan politics. Okay, that sounds good enough on its face. I mean, we are first and foremost citizens of a theocracy, not a representative republic. But, and I will say this, I don't pay a lot of attention to French, Moore, or Chang, so I can't speak to their politics, although what little I've seen suggests that they are well to the left of me and our staff here at Skywatch TV. Setting that aside, and the fact that all of them have been critical of evangelical Christians who have voted for Donald Trump in the past, the Afterparty is offering pastors and small groups a curriculum, quote, reframing Christian political identity from today's divisive partisan options, end quote. Again, that sounds like a good thing because we should be above partisan politics. We do not achieve salvation at the ballot box. We will not vote Jesus into the White House or get him placed on the Supreme Court. However, apparently as they were looking for funding to launch this program, they found that evangelical donors had little interest in funding a political Bible study, and so they turned to secular left-wing organizations. Specifically, in May of 2022, according to firstthings.com, the Rockefeller Philanthropy Advisors. They announced that Afterparty would be one of their 32 beneficiaries as they donated $10 million to address divisive forces. Rockefeller's interest in bankrolling a Bible study should be a red flag. This is the same group that is funding other organizations that promote the leadership of rural LGBTQ plus people, another group committed to keeping the remaining fossil fuel resources in the ground in the name of climate justice, and so on. These are the people funding the Afterparty, a Bible study. As with all things, follow the money. Coming up, Indigenous knowledge trumps science, at least in the Biden White House. That's ahead, along with details on Skywatch TV's upcoming virtual conference. That's next on 5 and 10.
Jonathan Cahn is back with his most explosive book ever, the Josiah Manifesto. This stunning book exposes whether or not a 3,000-year-old calendar of appointed days provides the secret to the most dynamic year of our lives, even ordaining a plague, a national lockdown, days of fire, and the changing of the Supreme Court. Secret information regarding an anonymous prayer and a mysterious template that may lie behind the event that overtook Capitol Hill and shook the nation. And the mysterious ancient king that may have revealed the secret behind a modern American president, and so much more. Also included in this must-have collection, The Gods of the Bible Unveiled on DVD, where Derek Gilbert systematically breaks down how to understand what the gods in the Bible are and what their place in Christianity actually is. In this instructional guide, you'll be taken step by step through why God calls his sons gods in the Psalms, how the fall in Genesis was only one of 3 divine rebellions, and how the Greek gods and titans found their origin in our Bibles. But that's not all. In this amazing offer, you'll also receive the Jonathan Cahn Collection, featuring 3 uncut, extended, and too hot for TV episodes on the return of the gods that will leave you speechless. This DVD also includes 3 additional episodes of Jonathan's best interviews with the Skywatch TV investigative team. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of over $75. Yours now for your donation of only $35 plus shipping and handling. But right now, you can upgrade your master collection to include the absolutely astonishing Josiah Manifesto Uncensored 8-DVD album featuring hours of additional totally uncensored raw materials and mysteries that are not included in the book or anywhere else but right here, including The Island of Mystery, The Winds of Hinnom, Jehu and the Temple of Baal, the Jubilee and Redemption and the Child of the Nile, and the Manifesto Part 1 and 2 and the very last mystery. This special upgrade includes all of the items from the Josiah Manifesto Master Collection and the exclusive uncensored 8-DVD album, which altogether holds a retail value of $200. Yours now for your donation of only $74.99 plus shipping and handling. So be prepared to understand the end times like never before as you dive into the Josiah Manifesto Master Collection or the Master Collection with upgrade uncensored 8-DVD album. So order now at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Josiah Manifesto Master Collection.
Item number 1 today, Indigenous knowledge. I had to look this up. I didn't really know what it was. Apparently, Indigenous knowledge is the idea that Native Americans possess secret wisdom just because of their ethnicity. And the Biden White House hosted a lecture in Egypt a year ago to promote the idea of Indigenous knowledge. This took place at the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Sharm el-Sheikh, where a lot of important people flew private jets, consuming lots and lots of fossil fuels to tell us how we were harming the climate. Anyway, this lecture was about the superiority of traditional ways of knowing, where the speaker made the case that traditional knowledge was better than science because her grandmother could predict when it was going to rain more accurately than the weather app on her phone. Okay, setting aside the fact that there's no universal agreement on what constitutes indigenous knowledge, I would just remind you that this is the same group in the White House who sponsored this indigenous knowledge conference speech that deplatformed and pressured social media to deplatform anyone who dared question the science during the pandemic. Yeah, hypocrisy, not a thing when you're a progressive, apparently. Skywatch TV this week talking about the upcoming virtual conference, Confronting the Darkness. You can watch the program right now, get the information early on it, take advantage of the early bird discount on registration. The program available at our website right now, skywatchtv.com, the Roku and Apple TV channels, also YouTube at Skywatch TV Now, rumble.com/skywatchtv. The details on the program, the details on the conference, that is. This is the last conference presentation by Dr. Tom Horn. He recorded it prior to his untimely passing in, I guess, untimely for us who are left behind. The Lord's timing is always perfect. Anyway, we miss him. And Tom recorded this before he took ill back in October. Anyway, this will launch on February 29th. And if you sign up by February 15th, you get an early bird discount. Details on that and more at defenderconference.com, defenderconference.com. Please take advantage of our free mobile app that guarantees we will never get canceled, regardless of whether we question the science, trademark, or not. This is available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets. It gets all of our content right into your hands, has additional features like a Bible with multiple translations, calendar of upcoming events, and more. Also gets you access directly to our new streaming video site. Check the tab bottom right on the app. Takes you right to our streaming video site for documentary content from Skywatch Films and Defender Films as well. Again, iOS, Android, Amazon Kindle Fire, absolutely free of charge, and we got links to the app stores at skywatchtv.com. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.